Welcome to Introduction to GFSI Recognized Certifications and Recommended Training. Today we're going to discuss the impact of GFSI standards and how you can best prepare for implementing the programs. It is important to understand how the Global Food Safety Initiative has affected food safety system certification. The Global Food Safety Initiative, or GFSI, is managed by the Consumer Goods Forum, and membership includes large retailers and multinational manufacturers. This group has identified food safety requirements and benchmarked certification programs against these requirements. The goal is to make sure that the food safety system certification programs that are in use meet these requirements and are effective. GFSI recognition is required by many or most retailers and manufacturers that are requesting certification of their suppliers. What you see here in green are the benchmark standards. You'll notice that ISO 22000 is not a benchmark standard. When it was reviewed, there were several issues identified, including the fact that prerequisite programs were not defined well enough for GFSI. FSSC was formed. FSSC 22000 uses ISO 22000 as the standard for the management system requirements and an additional document for the prerequisite programs. This document is ISO TS 22002-1. There are also other documents that may be used that we will discuss later. Three of the most commonly used standards are SQF, BRC, and FSSC 22000. Each of these systems address management systems requirements and good manufacturing practices. The management systems requirements include things such as management responsibility, internal audits, corrective action, training, purchasing, and other management clauses. Good manufacturing practices are the programs that are used to keep the facility and equipment in a clean, sanitary condition, and practices for personnel to follow to ensure a clean, sanitary environment for producing safe food. Let's take a look at how SQF certification handles the management system's requirements. The requirements for the management system are found in Module 2 of the SQF code. There are 3 levels of certification a company can choose from, and the levels apply to what management system elements are implemented. For example, Level 1, which is not GFSI recognized, means that a company has implemented Food Safety Fundamentals, or GMPs. Level 2, which is GFSI recognized, means that a company has a food safety management system in place that includes both Food Safety Fundamentals and HACCP. Level 3, which is also GFSI recognized, means that the company has Food Safety Fundamentals, HACCP, and a quality and food safety management system in place. The requirements for management system elements for FSSC 22000 certification are found in the standard ISO 22000. There is 1 level of certification, and it includes a food safety management system that covers GMPs and HACCP. The management systems requirements for BRC certification are found in the BRC Global Standard for Food Safety. With this standard, there is 1 level of certification, and it includes a food safety management system based on GMPs and HACCP. Now let's talk about how each standard handles GMPs, or Good Manufacturing Practices. Remember that we had stated that in addition to the management system elements, each standard addresses GMPs. Each standard uses different terminology for the GMPs. In BRC, it's Site Standards, in SQF, Food Safety Fundamentals, and in FSSC 22000, Prerequisite Programs. The requirements for GMPs can vary depending on the type of industry. For example, food processing will have slightly different requirements than food packaging manufacturers. Each standard has a way of handling the different requirements. Let's take a look. SQF documents the requirements for the Food Safety Fundamentals in Modules 3 through 15 of the Code. Each module applies to a different industry segment. For example, Module 4 for pet food processors, Module 11 for food processors, or Module 13 for food packaging manufacturers. Each company will address the system elements requirements found in Module 2 of the Code and choose the additional module or modules that applies to their organization. FSSC 22000 certification has additional documents that specify the prerequisite program requirements. For example, ISO TS 22002 is for food processors. The PAS 223 has the requirements for food packaging manufacturers. There are additional documents that are being worked on and will come in the future for additional industry segments. Any company seeking FSSC 22000 certification will need to address the requirements in both ISO 22000 and the accompanying prerequisite program document. BRC includes the site standard requirements as a section of the standard. Different industries would choose a different standard. For example, food processors would use the BRC Global Standard for Food Safety. Different standards exist for packaging and packaging materials, and storage and distribution. Let's take a look at how to choose a training program. For SQF training, a student must learn about both the system elements and the GMPs that apply to their industry. Our training is structured to provide a modular approach. First, the student chooses an Introduction to System Elements class. Remember that SQF has GFSI recognition for either Level 2 or 3. The student would choose the level that matches the certification the organization is looking for. They would then choose the appropriate Food Safety Fundamentals class based on the industry segment: food processor, packaging manufacturer, or pet food processor. The combination of those two classes is an effective training for management, personnel involved in the implementation project, and those with food safety responsibilities, such as the HACCP team. They will learn all the requirements by taking the right version of Introduction to SQF System Elements and Food Safety Fundamentals. For the SQF practitioner who is responsible for managing the project, we also have classes that will help in the design and implementation of the system, as well as the project management aspects. For the practitioner, we recommend Introduction to System Elements and Food Safety Fundamentals to learn the requirements, and then conducting a gap analysis, which includes gap analysis checklists, followed by the SQF template package, which will help plan, implement, and document the system, as well as provide tutorials, implementation plans, and other project management information. If the practitioner will also be part of the internal audit team, they should take internal auditor training. Organizations must have an internal audit team and must train internal auditors. The internal auditor course for SQF is also available for each combination of SQF level and the appropriate food safety fundamentals. You can see the options listed here. Let's look at how to choose the appropriate FSSC 22000 training class. To learn the requirements, a student must learn about both the system elements and the GMPs that apply to their industry. Remember, GMPs are referred to as prerequisite programs for FSSC 22000. First, the student chooses the Introduction to System Elements class, Introduction to FSSC 22000. And remember, there is only one level for FSSC 22000. Then the student chooses the appropriate prerequisite program class. This will be either FSSC 22000 Prerequisite Programs for Food Processors or FSSC 22000 Prerequisite Programs for Packaging Manufacturers. This combination is an effective training for management, personnel involved in implementation, and those with food safety responsibilities, such as the food safety team. They would learn all the requirements by taking the applicable versions of Introduction to FSSC 22000 and FSSC 22000 prerequisite programs. For the FSSC 22000 Food Safety Team Leader, who is responsible for managing the project, we also have classes that will help in the design and implementation of the system, as well as the project management aspects. For this person, we recommend Introduction to FSSC 22000 and FSSC 22000 prerequisite programs to learn about the requirements, followed by conducting a gap analysis, which includes gap analysis checklists, and the FSSC template package, which will help plan, implement, and document the FSSC system. It also includes tutorials, implementation plans, and other project management information. If the food safety team leader will be involved in internal auditing, They should also take the internal auditor training. The BRC training includes one training that covers both system elements and GMPs for food processors. This is our course, Introduction to BRC. It's an effective training for management, personnel involved in the implementation project, and those with food safety responsibilities, such as the HACCP team. The HACCP team leader should also take Conducting a Gap Analysis and the BRC template package, which includes all the templates needed to design, document, and implement the system. To simplify your training process, we provide training packages. There's a training package for the project managers, the SQF practitioner, FSSC 22000 Food Safety Team Leader, or BRC HACCP Team Leader that include all the recommended trainings for those positions. You can find these in our complete training packages. We also offer a premium template and training package, which includes multiple logins for our online classes. This enables you to train all of those who should be trained in your organization. Please feel free to contact us and discuss the best training options for your company.